So I just came back from the movies, and it really, really got me thinking. So the movie was called Old. I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's a movie where everyone goes to this island. They're on vacation, and they go to an island. And while they're on this vacation on the island, they are approached by a gentleman who brings them on a more exclusive trip to another island. So the families are like, okay, let's check this out. And they end up going on this trip to this island where when they get there, they realize right away that something is off. And they end up finding originally a dead body that washes up on shore. And they're trying to figure out what happens. Then they come to learn as the movie goes that this island is in some type of a portal or some type of a vortex because they are aging quickly to where it's basically for every minute, it's like a year, or I can't remember the exact calculation right now, but a whole day was basically an equivalent of 50 years. So these people, there's adults and children. One of the children was 3 years old, I believe, and her mother was like a sex beta kitten, big time. So anyways, the daughter is 3 years old. She grows up in like a couple hours to where she's like an adult. She becomes pregnant, but doesn't understand how that really happened because she still had like, I guess, a young mentality, but her body had grown. And then she gives birth to this baby. By the time the baby comes out of her and she holds it, it's already dead. And what they said was the baby already died from neglect. Because during that 1 minute that it took for her to push the baby out and then grab the baby, in the baby's time, it was like a whole year had passed. Like the baby hadn't been fed or cared for. So the movie had a lot of twists and turns. It was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. And all these people end up dying, except there's a couple who were able to figure out a cipher that gave them keys, let's just say. I don't want to give away like the whole movie, so I'm trying to be kind of vague. But in the end, you find out why these terrible experiments were happening. There was one lady there who was having seizures. There was another person who had like mental illness. There was another person with a blood disorder. There was different people with different ailments, but they also had doctors. Some of the people were doctors. One was like a psychiatrist of some sort. I don't remember exactly. So while they're on this island, they're trying to figure out how to get off the island. They go through different things. And then at the end, you find out it's an experiment. In the background, in labs, while all this is going on and all of these people are dying, they are being watched. These doctors and scientists are all watching these people die in all of these different manners. And then you find out that indeed, just like they had suspected, time goes very, very fast. So the doctors were actually experimenting on people where instead of it taking 40, 50 years to find out the results, they could expedite time to where they could test out their medications to see if they could heal people with their experiments on this island. So they would take people unbeknownst to them and put them in programs. Sound kind of familiar, doesn't it? So they put these people in programs unbeknownst to them. And they were experiments at the cost of their life. But the way that the doctors and elites were looking at it as, oh, that's just one person's life, but it'll save millions. people trying to play God. The movie was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. I am sorry. I should have given a disclaimer at the beginning of what I was talking about for those who go to see the movie. I honestly had my doubts at first because it was rated PG-13. So I'm like, But then when I seen it, I was like, oh, okay. Great concept. I loved the concept. They expedite time. Experiment on these people. They get the results back within a day versus waiting 50 years. So it's a movie that really makes you think on a deeper level. And then you look at the world today and the experiments and the programming that goes on, and it's not far-fetched. Just like we know there are portals. If you know the alignment of the stars and you know the earth axis and alignment, you know that this is real. There are places you can go on these accesses for healing purposes. Your body can naturally heal itself. And there are modalities that are natural that help as well. But that's more on the hermetic side. We'll talk about that maybe another time. Right now, honestly, most of my videos are focused more on mental health and well-being because that's ultimately the most important. Knowledge is great. Being entertained is great. But spiritual growth is the most important. I like to entertain, yes, but I like to also broaden people's minds to think outside of the box. So, this movie shows different types of programs, experimental programs that people, unbeknownst to them, very MKUltra, very, very. Anyways, for those who have seen the movie, tell me what you guys thought about it. I'd honestly like to do like a review, a breakdown on it, like the mental one they had on the show. I'd really like to do a breakdown. So maybe I'll do a few of those. I don't know who's interested in them. And I'm really not a person who goes to the movies often. So I wouldn't be doing I won't become Jody, the movie breakdown person. That's not going to happen. But sometimes when you come across movies or things that are pertinent, I like to bring them up. So let's talk about it.